What's up, y'all? You know I had to do something for the Tea Time family. I'm not a rapper, by the way. I'm gonna just try to sound cool. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is T. That's T to the IA. I used to play Sega Dream back in my day. Player one, cause my settings always on play. The older sibling of my family. I'm ready to rumble, then proceed without fumble. All you other cats is just like the giants in trouble. Recorder speak some truth, dispel they lies. Relax, sit back and chill, cause it's tea time. Assalamu alaikum. What's up, everybody? I am super excited because guess what? It's finally here. Season 2 of Tea Time Podcast, and I'm your girl, Tia. If you don't know, now you know. You know my face, you know me. For the people who are watching this, because I have decided to record all of my podcast episodes now and put them on YouTube, so you can follow my YouTube account at Tea Time Podcast on YouTube. Search me up. I'll also put a link in the description of this video. I'll put a link in the description of this podcast, so wherever you're listening to the podcast, you can also get a link to the video. But my name is Tia. Hi, how are you? A lot of you may know me from my previous season 1 of Tea Time Podcast, which I completed earlier this year. And those of you who do not know me, hello. I'm going to take a little bit of time for episode 1 just to reintroduce myself, let you know where I'm coming from, let you know where I'm from, and we're going to get into some tea. So drinking tea on Tea Time Podcast is about to be a fad. Number one, I named Tea Time Podcast Tea Time because I like drinking tea. I grew up, my mom is she drinks tea a lot. She likes tea, especially when we were sick. We immediately went to drinking tea, taking echinacea, which some of you may have the experience of. But as I grew older, I began to drink tea just for fun. I began to drink tea also for the health benefits, and I began to drink tea just to calm myself in the morning, to calm myself while I'm doing something, studying, something like that. I started drinking tea for my own personal benefits, and I named this Tea Time Podcast because number one, my nickname is Tia, so my auntie calls me TT. Some people call me TT, so TI was pretty catchy to name the podcast, so I did Tea Time. But I also wanted to bring it back to the root of why I named it, which is because drinking tea has a whole bunch of positive effects. So if I am able to, while I am recording, I will be drinking tea. I'm also a coffee drinker, so I will probably be drinking coffee as well. But I will be drinking tea. But while I'm drinking, I do want to go over the benefits that the types of tea I'm drinking may have for the body, may have for the mind, may have for the soul. So first, today, I am drinking raspberry leaf tea. Raspberry leaf tea is something that has always been in the cabinets at my house. My mom has always kept it in the house. I also added lemon, and I added manuka honey to the tea. So first, let's talk about the tea itself. Raspberry leaf tea, I did a quick Google search, and looked up some of the benefits of it, and they gave me a list of 8. So, number 1 benefit is a pregnancy aid. For those of you who may be pregnant out there, raspberry tea is known for its ability to stimulate labor and help to ease childbirth due to its effects that it has on the uterine wall. So, that's pretty good to know. If you are pregnant, raspberry leaf tea might be something that you want to drink if you want a nice and easy childbirthing process. Number 2, it also helps to treat cardiovascular issues. The amount of potassium in raspberry leaf tea makes it useful for reducing blood pressure and protecting against arthritis and other heart problems. if you are like me and you were a little tomboy who liked to play sports and then you mess up your fingers and everything, you feel like your joints have issues already, my knee hurts every other day, especially when it's cold outside, or if you're, I don't know, black or young or a worker in today's society, or maybe just living, you'll probably be dealing with some stress. So raspberry leaf tea is very good to help relieve the stress that gets pent up in our bodies, which can lead to heart issues. The biggest killer of black people is not black on black crime, y'all. Hello. The biggest killer of black people is actually heart disease. And a lot of that is due to stress. So raspberry leaf tea can be a good way to combat the stress that we get on a day-to-day basis. So check it out. Number 3, a digestive aid. Raspberry leaf tea has anti-inflammatory properties which can help soothe sore stomachs and prevent constipation. Very important. That's all I'll say to that. Number 4, it is an immune system booster. The vitamin C in raspberry leaf tea can help to ensure the proper functioning of the immune system and stimulates the production of white blood cells. Especially, we have another coronavirus, rise coming, and well, it's kind of here. But we have another coronavirus rise. So it is important that we keep our immune systems up. Vitamin C is very important. And the white blood cells that we have, aka the ability of our body to be able to fight off diseases that may come into it, that's very important. So that's another benefit. Number 5, for those of you who are trying to get pregnant, it is a fertility aid. Number 6, it reduces inflammation. Raspberry leaf tea can reduce the symptoms of arthritis, gout, headaches, fever, and gastrointestinal problems. This is due to the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds it contains. So that's actually similar to what raspberries do and what blueberries do. Blueberries, they're a superfood, and they're very anti-inflammatory. And inflammation causes most of the sickness and issues that people get, especially in America with how we eat. Number 7, it is good for your skin. Duh. Can't you see? I'm like flawless. Say nah. I definitely have acne issues. I have a routine for that. But it's good for your skin because this tea sometimes is used to treat skin irritation caused by psoriasis, acne, or eczema, as well as other skin issues. The high levels of vitamin C and E and the various antioxidants help to soothe the skin. So I will actually drink this more because I am going through a little flame up of something on my face. But to the last point, number 8, it could help with weight loss. So as raspberry tea is low calorie and is said to help boost the metabolism, it is a popular drink for those trying to lose weight. Pretty awesome benefits in this. You can Google your own benefits if you would like to for raspberry tea. If you have any tea suggestions, definitely comment on the YouTube video. Text in. I'm going to explain how to do that soon. Text in. Message me, leave a voice message on Anchor, and let me know if you have any tea suggestions, any teas that I should be drinking that can help me out with acne or whatever it may be, my digestive system. But let me know if there are any other teas that you suggest I drink on the show, and I can highlight your tea. So, I put lemon in it because lemon is awesome. To me, it makes every tea taste better, except nettle tea. It's kind of weird with nettle tea. But I think lemon is awesome. I know that it helps with vitamin C. It helps boost the immune system. I know lemon in water is alkaline, so it reduces the acidity in your body. I'm not sure if it does the same in tea. And Manuka honey, if you don't know, Manuka honey is great for your immune system to build it up. It's very expensive, but it is very extremely good for you. You can get it from a health food store. You can get it from vitamin stores. Definitely suggest it. Before I put it in my tea, because I did learn that when you put it in tea, it kills the properties of it. I do take a spoonful and just eat it. So just in case I'm not getting it within my tea, I can get it at least in that spoonful that I'm drinking. So that way I'm getting the properties I want from the honey, as well as sweetening my tea a little bit. So it has great effects and it's pretty awesome. All right. So getting back to me. Peace. Assalamu alaikum again. What is up, everyone? I hope this message is coming to you and you are feeling great. I hope you are feeling fine. I hope that you are thriving and staying positive, which is critical. Put this tea down. Ooh, that was good. I let it steep perfectly. Perfectly. All right. So, who am I? My name is Atiya Jelani Muhammad. So, that's my full name. You can call me Tia. Tia is my nickname that I just go by, not because I hate my first name. I love my first name. It means gift. It's just I like the name Tia as well. As I explained in how I came up with the actual idea for the name of this podcast. If you see me looking down, I am looking at my notebook because I want to keep us on track. So, my name is Atiya J. Muhammad, Jelani Muhammad. I am 26 years old. I'm a Gemini. Shout out to my Gemini. My birthday is in June. And I am a child of the Nation of Islam, follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So a lot of the things I say will have influence from that type of thinking. It will have influence from a Muslim religion background. And it'll have influence from things that also coincide with my upbringing in the nation. So I currently am a former flight attendant. I quit, or I took the opportunity to leave the company that I was working with in August. With everything happening with coronavirus, I definitely did not want to continue in the field, and I was thinking of leaving the field anyway. So I took my opportunity with coronavirus to get out of the field and to pursue other passions, which we will speak about in a bit. I have a big announcement. But I'm a former flight attendant, and most importantly, I'm a young entrepreneur. I'm optimistic, striving to keep my optimism. But most importantly, I am a believer in purpose, presence, and perspective. What does that mean? Purpose, presence, and perspective. I believe that every single little tiny unimaginable molecule on this planet, in this universe that we do not know about, or the other universe, I believe that all has a purpose. And most importantly, I believe that every single person who hears my voice, every single person who I do not know or who I will never meet, has a purpose. Everything and everyone has a purpose. And I believe that's a critical belief because it helps us to enter the world, and it helps us to be a citizen of the world and the universe we live in that is positive. It helps us to be a citizen of the world and who can do something, who will leave a lasting change, who will leave a legacy. If we all begin to explore and understand our purpose, imagine the type of world that we could live in. So that's definitely a critical belief of mine. Everything that I say, everything that I explore, it has the basis that every single thing that I speak of has its purpose. Even if I disagree with it, even if I don't like it, like pickles or something. I don't like that, but it has a purpose, I guess. My cousins love pickles, so one purpose is it makes my cousins happy. I love them, so I love to see them happy. But I don't like them. But I can accept and respect his purpose. And that goes with anything. That goes with human thought as well. So the second thing, presence. Presence, oh Lord. See? You see how I did that? Because I'm becoming present. But presence is something that throughout the past few months I've been working on. Because presence keeps us here. Presence allows us to live life fully. Everybody wants to live life in full throttle. Everybody wants to grab onto every single opportunity that life has to throw at them. However, we can only do that when we are present. So it's a practice. Presence is a practice. It's not something that comes naturally in the type of society that we live in, because everything that we do and everything that is surrounding us, TV, our phones, social media, it takes us out of being present and it puts us in another place. It makes us think that something other than where we are and how we are and who we are in that very moment is more important than us. That's just not true. So it is a practice that I'm going to continue to remind us of throughout this podcast, because I think it is critical in centering yourself and becoming a better person. And it'll help you with your purpose. But number 3 is perspective. I love perspective. I'm a Gemini. People say we have 2 sides. I say sure. I think it's more of we are able to see things on both sides. We're able to see things in different perspectives. I love perspective, because just because I disagree with something does not mean I can't understand why somebody thinks opposite of me. Does not mean that I can't put myself in someone else's shoes. So I do think that perspective is also critical in being present and having a purpose. I think that perspective is something that in today's society we kind of lack. We lack the appreciation of perspective. Even when you think of a car accident, it's hilarious that when you get into a car accident, the other person is always wrong. You know what I mean? The other person always did something that made that accident happen. But there's a perspective, but there has to be the truth as well. But is the truth also just a perspective? So perspective to me is very interesting. It leads to a lot of questions. Perspective leads to a lot of answers as well. And perspective, I think, allows for a greater appreciation of life, a greater appreciation of everything. So that's me. Those are the 3 P's that I like to base this podcast off of. It's a chill podcast. We're just going to talk and think. I'm not an expert in anything, but I love to learn, and I love to learn with those grounds of purpose, presence, and perspective. So remember those, and I'll remind you of those 3 P's. Now, what will we talk about on this podcast? Besides me, we're going to talk about different things. I love perspective on race, of course, because number 1, I am a black woman. I'm a black Muslim woman, which means that I definitely have a perspective on race. I have a perspective on race in terms of being in America, and I have a perspective on race in relation to the rest of the world with my experience as a flight attendant especially. So, perspective on race, economics, religion, personality, psychology, history, health, relationships, scholarship, all of that. I have a perspective on it all. I love learning, so it allows me to create opinions. I believe that you should not be sharing opinions without first doing research. You should not share opinions without having some type of experience with something as well if you don't do research. So I think I've had a wealth of life. I've had a wealth of life. I'm only 26, so I don't get it twisted. I haven't experienced everything. However, I am a learner. I believe that life teaches you, and I also believe that the internet is there for a reason. Luckily, I was the generation that came up. We had to use the internet for research purposes, and we had classes on how to research on the internet. So it is pretty interesting to me to be able to just Google something like I did with the raspberry tea. I had my ideas about raspberry tea, but I wanted all the effects so I could share that information. So we're definitely going to have different perspectives on different topics. Health is definitely a critical topic now, so we might get into that soon. Mental health is very important to me. My mom is a psychologist. I studied psychology in university, and I was also a teacher. So mental health personal interactions, social interactions, and settling personal issues. That's all very critical to me, and it will definitely be topics here on the podcast. So I hope you're still interested. I hope you're enjoying. Let's continue. So the perspectives that we have on this show, I don't want to just bring them up and leave people questioning, but I always kind of want to offer a solution. Not the solution, but I always want to offer a solution, a suggestion, or at least a positive outlook about that perspective or about that topic. Because I think that we should be positive in times like this. Positivity is something I lived my life on through college, and I kind of lost it, becoming an adult. And it's something I'm going to gain back, and I am gaining back. So, of course, my audience, my Tea Time Podcast family, I want to make sure that you all feel positive about the things we discuss. All right. Fulfillment is in the self. A quote that I want to give you all excuse me. Let me take a sip of tea. All right. A quote that I want to use for today's podcast is, "The contentment of my mind is never disturbed." And that's actually from a prayer. It's from a prayer that my mom used to say with me and my sisters all the time. Come what may, the contentment of my mind is never disturbed. And that is so important because that's staying positive, right? No matter what comes my way, no matter what life has to offer, whether it seems good or bad to me, I'm going to keep a solid mind. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay upright. I'm going to stick to myself. I'm going to stick to my purpose. I'm going to lean on God. I'm going to lean on a higher power. I'm going to lean on who I know I am. You know what I mean? So just because certain things happen, just because there are certain perspectives surrounding you that you dislike, the contentment of your mind does not have to be disturbed. You can stay solid in who you are in any environment. And that's something I hold definitely dear. So that is the first quote I'm sharing on the podcast today. I will also try to share quotes with you every single podcast, just so you have, I want to give my audience something, my family, Tea Time Podcast family, something to take away. So that's the first quote. All right. So new things with the podcast this season. Audience participation. I want to speak with you all. I want to speak with you guys. So that means on anchor.fm/Tea Time Podcast, you all are going to be able to send in voice messages to me that could be played on the podcast if you would like. If you don't want them on the podcast, just say that. But these voice messages can be suggestions on topics for the podcast. They can be, I'm going to have live shows throughout the podcast at times. I will let you know when. But you can call in to give your perspective during the podcast. I am going to allow for comments. I'm going to read comments and feedback that I get in my email, which is teatimepodcast@gmail.com. And I'm going to also open up a text line. So this text line that I open, hopefully it will be added to this podcast episode. If not, it will be in episode 2. But my text line I'm going to add in so that I can directly contact you and you can directly contact me. So with this text line, I'll be able to send out messages, updates about live events, updates about merchandise. Oop, didn't get there yet. But I'm going to definitely use this text line to send out updates and to be more communicative with the Tea Time family because I want your feedback, of course. So, moving on to merchandise. We now have merch for Tea Time Podcast. The merch website will be up by the time this podcast comes out. We have a Tea Time Podcast mug. We have a COVID claw, which I call it, which is like a little thing to go on your keys so that you can, when you get to the bank, you don't have to press the numbers. I think about that stuff all the time. Like, I am staying inside, but when I go to the bank, what am I supposed to do when they need my PIN number? COVID claw. You can also open doors with it when you need to go into stores like Wawa, all of that. We also have face masks, and we have shirts. Tea Time Podcast. Looking to add some hats, and I'm looking to add some pens, other types of things that can be useful to you in the upcoming season and in your office. I'm an office girl. I like writing. I like journaling. You might too. So I'm going to create some more things that some thinkers and perspective takers and positive thinkers might like. So that's for you, my Tea Time fam. I'm going to get that merchandise out to you. I will share the website to you once it is available. And also, bing bing, I made a Patreon. So Patreon, I'm trying to do a lot more with this podcast. I want it to be something that's inspiring to other people. So I decided to create a Patreon. If you are able to do so, you can sign up on Patreon and decide how much you would like to donate in order to be a part of the private Tea Time family. I love you all, but my core Tea Time family, they're the ones who are on Patreon. They will receive bonus episodes. They will receive live videos that I do not post for the general public. They will also receive video footage that is not live, that I don't post for the general public, and just a lot of other extras that not everybody will be able to get. So shout out to my first subscriber. You can also subscribe to me on Anchor.fm. So Anchor, I got my first subscriber. Shout out to her. She knows who she is. Definitely a great friend. I thank everyone who has been able to support me, who has given me feedback and encouraged me to come back with season 2. Love y'all and love you. All right. So moving on to my big update. If you know me, if you have watched me, if you have seen me, I'm always quitting and starting new jobs, right? I finally found the career path for me. Some of you may know, but some of you may not. I have decided to go back to school, and I'm currently in a program to become a life coach. Oh, no applause? Okay. What's a life coach? I'm sorry. So a life coach is somebody who takes the task and partnership with a client in order to help them to achieve their goals. So as a trained life coach, I will be trained in tactics, communicative tactics. I will be trained in the laws, and I will be given resources as to how to build a life coaching practice. I plan on building my own private practice to wherein I can take in clients to help them with goals. Any goal that you may have. Life coaches, a great example in the public eye is Ilyana. If anybody knows her, the Fix My Life woman, that is life coaching. I'm not an older black woman, so I can't talk to people like that. So I have my own technique and I have my own style that I am developing currently. However, that is an example of the type of work I will be doing. You are here and you want to get here. As a coach, I blow that whistle to make sure that you get here, and I'm getting there with you. So a life coach develops a relationship with their client in order to help them to achieve specific goals. That can be goals in your work. That can be goals in your relationships with family, your relationships that are romantic. It can be simply a goal of, I need a tool to study. I need to know how to study better. Things like that. Anything. I need help with reading, with actually sitting down to read. I no longer can focus. I'm talking about myself. That is a coaching topic. So a life coach is a growing field. It is not psychology, but it is a growing field, especially for young people and especially for black people. It came from the professional setting. Life coaches started out with business coaching. Coaching in professional settings and in big businesses, and it's now expanding out to personal coaching as well as business coaching. I hope to dive into both, but if you ever need my services, they'll be developed soon. I'm in my process. I'm a month and a half into my course. I'm excited, and you will see more out of my personal account in the life coaching regard, which is on Instagram, which is at A Course of Action, which is the name of my business, A Course of Action. So thank you all for listening to my announcement. Thank you all for letting me reintroduce myself. I hope that we can learn more about each other. I hope that you can hear more about me. And I hope we can begin a discussion throughout the podcast season 2 about the different topics and perspectives that come up. If you are ever interested in joining the podcast for an episode, if you are a professional in a certain field and you think that field would be appealing to my audience, then definitely hit me up, leave a voice message. Don't forget, follow me on @TeaTimePodcast on Instagram. You can also like me on Facebook.com/TeaTimePodcast. And don't forget to follow and like and subscribe. If you want to become a donor, then my information will be in the description for Patreon and for Anchor. So I appreciate all of you for listening. I appreciate all of my newcomers. Welcome to the family. I appreciate all of my previous supporters who are continuing to support. We're going to get better. We're going to get doper. I'm excited for season 2. And the next episode that you see me in is going to dive deeper into the 3 P's of life. 3 P's of life. So it's different from the purpose, presence, and perspective. That's just kind of my core for the podcast. But the 3 P's of life will be something different. So stay tuned. I'll see you all next time, next episode of Tea Time Podcast. Love you all. Peace, love. Assalamu alaikum.